morning, dear hearts. Yes, I'm back because we're starting our second review, and I love a good review, and all of the reviews are good. So, our introduction, we are going to be reviewing the past 20 lessons that we just had, 61 to 80, and the introduction to the review begins. We now begin another review. We'll begin where we left off our last review and cover 2 ideas each day. The earlier part of each day devoted to one of these ideas, the latter part of the day to the second idea. We will have one longer exercise period for each of the 2 lessons and frequent shorter ones. So the longer practice periods are 15 minutes. So we are to spend 15 minutes with one of the lessons, and then 15 in the morning preferably, and then later on in the day, another 15 minutes with the second lesson. And of course, many small reminders during the day. The more time that we commit to this course, the greater our outcome will be, and the quicker that it will be. We will start to see, we will notice the differences that are happening in our everyday life. Remember, this is a practical course, so it is meant to be used in a practical way. And the practical way would be for learning how to see everything in this world from a different point of view. There's another way of looking at this world. So we devote the 15 minutes, and then it says devote some 3 or 4 minutes to reading the lesson over. It's appearing in a slightly different form than it first did. The title obviously is the same. And then there's some ideas that follow it, little prayer lines. They're in italics, and to help us to get quiet and to use these for going into our 15 minutes of practice. Meditation, but doesn't use that word. So as we get quiet and we listen, we are going to be listening for what we are meant to be told and what we are meant to know about that lesson. What are we listening for? We're listening for God's voice. And remember, God's voice speaks to us all through the day. It is only our willingness to hear the voice that is any kind of an impediment. So, paragraph 3 of the introduction says, repeat the first phase of the exercise period if you find your mind wandering. So if you're going into your 15 minutes and you're, all of a sudden you're in the grocery store, in your mind, you stop, take a breath. I always say take a breath. Doesn't say it in the book. Take a breath and say the title of the lesson over again. Do your little do-over, okay? It tells us if your mind is wandering, but try to spend the major part of the time listening quietly and attentively. There is a message waiting for you. Be confident that you will receive it. Remember that it belongs to you, and that, this is the important part, you want it. You want this message. You want something to be different in your life. That's why you started doing the course. That's why you started on a spiritual path. You want things to be different than what they currently are in your life. That's why we dedicate. That's why we commit. That's why we practice. Do not allow your intent to waver in the face of distracting thoughts. Realize that whatever form such a thought might take, it has no meaning and no power, because those wavering thoughts, those distracting thoughts are coming from our ego mind, and there is no foundation to the ego mind. Everything that is coming to us from the ego, all illusory. Do not forget that your will has power over all fantasies and dreams, and make sure that you realize you have a determination to succeed. Again, that's why you have started on this course. Trust it to see you through and carry you beyond them all. Now, paragraph 5 in the review, it's a favorite, and it's got such a wonderful message and realization in it. Regard these practice periods as dedications to the way, the truth, and the life. Refuse to be sidetracked into detours, illusions, and thoughts of death. You're dedicated to salvation, freedom, happiness. Be determined each day not to leave your function unfulfilled. So here on one column, all right? Column A, column B. Column A, the way. Column B, a detour. Column A, the truth. Column B, illusions. Column A, life. Column B, thoughts of death. Which do you want to choose? We dedicate ourselves to one or to the other, never both. That would be trying to have a split mind, serving two masters. We know that doesn't work. So reaffirm your determination in the shorter practice periods as well, using the original form of the idea for general applications and more specific forms when needed. Some specific forms are included in the comments which follow the statement of the ideas. These, however, are merely suggestions. It is not the particular words you use that matter. This is a spoiler alert if this is your first time going through the course, but we are ultimately wanting to get to the time when words are of no meaning to us and our use for them is no longer a thing, okay? There's many places in the workbook it says our use for words is almost over. So this is why our words really are not as important as our intention and our willingness to do these lessons, to do the practicing. The first lesson for our review is the first giant stride we had when we came out of our first review. I am the light of the world. How holy am I who have been given the function of lighting up the world. Let me be still before my holiness. In its calm light, let all my conflicts disappear. In its peace, let me remember who I am. Who I am. What I am. We can go back to lesson 37. My holiness blesses the world. I have this function of lighting up the world. Let me be still before my holiness, which blesses the world. So the 3 lines were given to use, our suggestions. Let me not obscure the light of the world in me. Let the light of the world shine through this appearance as I see myself now. Let this shadow will vanish before the light, because when the darkness comes to the light, it simply disappears. Disappears, was never really there. Remember that, wasn't really there. There truly is no darkness. It's only the illusion of darkness. So when the darkness comes to the light, it disappears. The light doesn't go to the darkness. The darkness comes to the light. The second lesson for review. Forgiveness is my function as the light of the world. It is through accepting my function that I will see the light in me. And in this light will my function stand clear and perfectly unambiguous before my sight. My acceptance does not depend on my recognizing what my function is, for I do not understand forgiveness yet. We are merely scratching the surface of forgiveness so far. Forgiveness is, well, of course, this course has been called A Course in Forgiveness. We are beginning to learn what forgiveness truly is, because it is not what we have thought it was in this world. It's totally different than it is in truth from the whole healed mind point of view. Yet I will trust that in the light, I will see forgiveness as it is. Specific forms for using this idea might be, let this help me learn what forgiveness is. We had lesson 46, God is the love in which I forgive. And that's a good hint for us. Let me not separate my function from my will. And I will not use this for an alien purpose, for me to try to use this to get something from someone else. This is not to be used to get things. We are here to give. We are here to extend, because that is our function, part of our function as the light of the world, because we are recognizing that we indeed are the extension from the mind of God, God's love. So let me not use my practicing and my forgiveness for an alien purpose. Let me not use my light for an alien purpose. Let me use everything that I am given for right-minded thinking and extension and love. And that's it for today. So this was a lovely little pop-in. I hope you enjoyed it. I did. Please like, share, and subscribe. Please comment. Please smile. Please pray. Remember, I haven't said this for a while because I haven't been popping in all that much, but we pray for what we already have because we have everything. But that doesn't mean we have recognized that we have everything. If we recognize we had everything, we wouldn't need to be reminded that we are the light of the world. We wouldn't need to be reminded that forgiveness is our function as the light of the world. We pray for what we have not recognized, and we pray that all minds will heal together because we do not heal alone. Namaste.